Are you considering buying the Canon EOS 77D, also known as the 9000D, or the Canon Rebel T6, also known as the 1300D, but you're not certain if they're still good in 2023? In this review, we'll discuss their strengths and weaknesses so you can figure out which one you want to purchase. So let's first consider which lenses I can use with these cameras. Both Canon EF and EFS lenses are compatible with both cameras, including the Canon EF 50mm f1.8 and the Canon EFS 18-55mm kit lens. You can also use third-party lenses to have a wider range of choices. Now, what about storage? Do either of these cameras have a dual SD card slot? No entry-level or mid-level camera has this feature. It is mainly a high-end feature that allows you to get real-time backups of your photos. This is possible because the camera saves each photo on both cards simultaneously. The benefit of having two cards is that you can recover all your photos from the second card even if the first SD card fails. Although it's rare for SD cards to fail, having multiple cards that you cycle through over time can reduce the chances of this happening. Furthermore, avoiding the backup function and utilizing the two cards individually is possible, resulting in double storage capacity. Expanding on that, do they have connectivity features? Both cameras have Wi-Fi functionality, however the 77D comes with Bluetooth, but the T6 does not. Luckily, both cameras are equipped with NFC capabilities. Okay, so are they particularly heavy? The 77D camera measures 131 by 99.9 by 76.2mm, or 5.16 by 3.93 by 3 inches, and has a weight of approximately 540 grams or 19.05 ounces. On the other hand, the T6 camera has dimensions of 129 by 101.3 by 77.6mm, or 5.08 by 3.99 by 3.06 inches, and weighs around 485 grams or 17.11 ounces. Both cameras have a similar physical size, which makes them portable and easy to carry around. However, the weight can vary based on what lenses you decide to use. In terms of build, the 77D is composed of aluminium alloy and polycarbonate resin. On the other hand, the T6 is made of carbon fiber, glass fiber, and polycarbonate resin. I'd say that overall the 77D's build quality is superior to that of the T6. Moving on to a related point, what should you expect from their displays? The 77D has an articulated screen, which means it can be turned around in order to keep it from getting scratched. However, the T6's screen is fixed and can't be moved or turned. The 77D also features a compact LCD screen at the top. This LCD screen not only looks stylish, but it also enables you to review your settings effortlessly. While some people might not appreciate the LCD's design, I love it and I think it makes cameras look way cooler. Right, so these two devices are rather versatile. How long will their battery last? The LPE17 battery that comes with the 77D can take around 600 shots, while the LPE10 battery in the T6 can shoot approximately 500 photos. However, factors such as screen usage, battery age, and temperature can impact battery life. It is advisable to carry extra batteries with you in the case of a prolonged shoot or group setting. By the way, if this video is providing value to you, don't forget to leave a like. Additionally, if you'd like to purchase any of the items mentioned in this review, you'll find affiliate links down below in the description or in the pinned comment. Moving on to a related point, can these cameras produce quality images? The type of lens you use will have a significant impact on the images you produce. However, for the sake of the discussion, we will only focus on the camera's contribution, since we do not know which lens you will use. To begin, let's talk about the sensors. The APS-C sensor in both cameras measures 22.3 by 14.9mm and provides 24.2 megapixels for the 77D and 18 megapixels for the T6. The Digic 7 processor is present in the 77D, while the T6 features the Digic 4 Plus. You may be wondering what this implies. Let us illustrate the enhancements the Digic 4 Plus and 7 have brought to Canon cameras. With the 4th generation of the JIG processors, there was a considerable improvement in image processing speeds compared to previous models, and better noise reduction in high ISO images. Additionally, it featured the capability to record H.264 1080p videos. The 7th generation of the JIG processors brought significant enhancements such as better image processing capabilities, faster autofocus speeds, diminished image noise, and advancements in subject detection. Speaking of subject detection, and thus autofocus, the 77D provides up to 45 autofocus points. Meanwhile, the T6 only offers 9 autofocus points. Expanding on that, do they have dual pixel AF? So the 77D does have it, while the T6 does not. Having dual pixel AF and a high number of AF points means increased autofocusing capability, which can really come in handy. Now, what can you do in terms of shutter speed? If you want to capture fast-moving subjects, can these cameras do that? Both of these cameras have a maximum shutter speed of 1/4000th of a second, which is nice. Right, but what if I want to capture multiple frames quickly, hoping to get some really cool photos of a fast-moving subject like in sports or wildlife photography? If so, what you're looking for is continuous shooting mode. The 77D can do 6 FPS in this mode, while the T6 can do 3 FPS. In other words, the 77D captures 6 photos within 1 second, while the T6 captures 3. This is incredibly useful if your aim is to capture fast motion. The more frames your camera can capture within that second, the higher the chance you'll obtain the exact photograph you're after. In terms of ISO, the 77D ranges between 100 to 25,600, which can be increased to 51,200. Meanwhile, the T6 has an ISO range of 100 to 6400, but can reach up to 12,800 when expanded. When capturing photographs, it is best to maintain a lower ISO setting to prevent unwelcome noise in your images. Another important point to consider is whether the 77D and the T6 are good for video. The T6 can do 1080p at 30 FPS and 720p at 60 FPS, while the 77D can do 1080p at 60 FPS. Neither of them has Canon log, which increases the camera's dynamic range. This feature is often found in more expensive cameras, such as the R or R5. Another important point to consider is whether these cameras have built-in optical image stabilization. Unfortunately, neither of them has IBIS. Now, most cameras offer digital stabilization, but as a general rule, you should stay away from that. While you can experiment with the in-body digital IS, it isn't usually of great quality and is embedded into the video, therefore there's no backup video without it. It's generally not worthwhile to use the in-body digital IS. It's best to shoot footage with some shaking and then use software like Premiere to stabilize it. If optical stabilization is what you need, then you should consider buying a lens such as the Canon EFS 18-55mm kit lens that has IS in the name. This lens provides in-lens stabilization, which is superior to in-camera digital stabilization. I've actually reviewed quite a few lenses on my channel. You can find relevant links down below, or you can click the card in the top right corner. Moving on to a related point, can you use either of these cameras for vlogging? At this point, pretty much any camera can be used for that purpose, but there are a few issues to bear in mind. First off, having a flip screen is ideal, so you can see what you're doing when the camera is turned around. When it comes to the flip screen, the 77D wins as it has one, while the T6 doesn't. Having a flip screen makes vlogging more convenient, but it also helps protect the screen when you're carrying the camera in your bag. Now, another factor to consider is the type of sensor. Both cameras have APS-C sensors, which results in a more magnified image than a full-frame sensor. Due to this, it's better to use lenses with shorter focal lengths, since many lenses may become too zoomed in when doing handheld vlogging due to the crop factor. The 18-55mm kit lens is very useful if you want to vlog without a tripod. You can zoom it out completely and capture much more in your frame. Also, image stabilization, or IS, makes your video smoother in most situations. Make sure to get the version with IS included. Another lens you can use for vlogging is the Canon 24mm pancake lens. With this lens you can achieve a wide field of view, but be mindful that there is no IS on this lens. This means that your footage may end up being shaky. If you plan on placing the camera on a tripod, you'll need a different lens. Which lenses are best suited for this? For still shots with a stationary camera, skip the 18 to 55mm or 24mm lenses. Instead, consider using the Canon EF 50mm f1.4 or f1.8. These lenses can open up much wider, which means they're able to let in more light and produce lovely bokeh, the dreamy out-of-focus background that is highly sought after. But don't choose these lenses if you plan to do handheld vlogging, as they lack image stabilization and are too zoomed in. Next up, what should I expect in terms of durability? Neither of them has weather sealing, so you have to be careful about that. I wouldn't use them in the rain or expose them to the elements in that way. In terms of the maximum number of photos they can take, both cameras are rated for approximately 100,000 actuations each, so every time you take a picture, it counts as one actuation. If you do some quick calculations, taking 10 photos daily, the 100,000 actuations will last about 27 years. It's important to note that other camera parts may need replacing before that time, and the assumption is that you begin with 0 photos. If you buy a second-hand camera, the calculations may need to be adjusted accordingly. Before buying the camera, review the listing to confirm the number of photos already taken. So, what is the purpose of these cameras? Both of them are suitable for photography, including portrait, street, product, landscape, wedding, event, and documentary work. To enhance the quality of your pictures in these categories, selecting the right lens is more important than your choice of camera. When capturing sports and wildlife photos, there are more aspects to take into account, even though lens selection still matters. In the case of sports and wildlife photography, having a fast shutter speed and a high number of frames per second in continuous mode is essential. The 77D has the ability to shoot 6 FPS, and it has a maximum shutter speed of 1/4000th of a second. On the other hand, the T6 has lower FPS with only 3, and can also reach the maximum shutter speed of 1/4000th. I hope this review has been helpful. If you're curious about the cost of these lenses in your area, there are affiliate links down below for your convenience. If you'd like to check out more reviews, you can either look down below for relevant links or click the card in the top right corner. Do you have any questions? Feel free to comment below and I'll do my best to get back to you. Thank you for listening. Don't forget to leave a like, subscribe and hit that bell, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.